Greetings friends, today I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about the Tablet of Lights. And if you've been watching my videos, you will know that this is the basis of the magical system of Solomonic spell work that I've been sharing with you on this channel. I've been getting lots of questions about this by email from clients and from people who've been working with the system, people who've been sharing their results with me, and it's been really great. So I thought I'd talk a little bit more about the tablet and share with you some of my thinking around its functioning, right? So as you know, this is basically the basis on which all the candle work is done, all the sympathetic magical gestures, all the manipulation of the doll babies, the candles, the washes, the oils, everything is intended to happen on this surface. And upon the surface, we always will inscribe pentacles, seals, and so forth that will allow us to invoke spirits and other planetary powers and forces into the spell work, right? So in that sense, there is a great resonance with traditional grimoire technology. And even though this is happening all on the surface of a plate, you could say that this is a ritual microcosm, right? And there is a resemblance here to the magic circle, for example, that you will find in the heptameron, right? The heptameron, the magic circle is drawn anew for each ritual, and all the sigils, holy names, and pentacles are drawn on the floor, and the circle acts both as a talismanic device that allows the practitioner to draw the spirits and angels that he intends to evoke to physical presence, but it's also a protective enclosure, and it's a ritual cosmos. It's a ritual world that is being created with that pentacle. And the same thing is happening here, really, but it's on a much smaller scale. And in this ritual space, our circle is really defined by the perimeter of the tablet itself. And the ritual actors are the candles, and the other magical materia that we choose to use in the spell. And this is one of the ways in which there is an overlap with traditional grimoire thinking there. Of course, it resembles also the table of practice, such as found in the art of drawing spirits into crystals, attributed by Trithemius of Spanheim, and perhaps we could draw a parallel to the wax almadel, which also includes candles, as it were, but again, an inspirited work surface. Now, obviously, in this context, our aim is spell work. We're not using this necessarily to evoke spirits to appearance, to communicate with them, but instead, the system is designed to invoke the power of the spirits into the spell and help expedite it, help it come about in that way. I often use a pizza plate, a flat pizza plate. An alternative to that could be a large ceramic floor tile. And what I suggest, if you want to empower it further, to give it some extra magical efficacy, is to acquire that, to buy it in the hour of Mercury, when the moon is waxing, right? And then, of course, there's some more that you can do with it. You could, for example, wrap it in white cloth and bury it at a crossroads, also in the hour of Mercury, when the moon is waxing, and leave it there for 5 days. And then on the 5th day, you go exhume it in the hour of Mercury, and now it's become consecrated as the Tablet of Light proper. And it's not to say if you don't do that, this won't work, right? But every layer of consecration, every layer of planetary timing and effort you put in is of course going to heighten the effect. But having said that, you'd be surprised that you can get rather startling results with humble efforts. And it even says in the Greater Key that an accomplished magician doesn't even necessarily have to adhere to planetary timing, but it is of course useful at the outset to help you get the effect that you want more easily, right? Now there is another alternative available to you to work for the tablet of lights, and I'm going to show that to you shortly. So the next alternative for the tablet of lights, instead of using a ceramic plate or a large consecrated floor tile, is to use a black board like this, right? And you can get these online in various sizes, from very large to rather small. And this one is about, I think, 70 centimeters by 50 centimeters or so. And I find that this is a comfortable size. And it offers some advantages and disadvantages to working with a ceramic plate. The major disadvantage to working with a ceramic plate is that you can drip the candle wax on the plate and you can fix the candles onto that fireproof surface. And the candle work can all burn down on that plate, and it's easy to wash off, and it's much less hassle with the wax, really. Now, the benefits that the chalkboard approach offers is that you can work with regular chalk, and that the pentacles and the sigils, like this pentacle of Venus, or the seal of Venus that I drew here for this example, show up really nicely on this. And of course, in terms of that magical register of overlapping with the aesthetics of the grimoires, this works really well. This visually is very impactful, and I'm not saying that in a sort of a vapid way that it needs to just look good, but aesthetics are important to magic. The aesthetics and the finish of something will definitely impact the power of a work, and there's a lot to be said for something looking good in that sense. However, it's easy to draw on this with chalk, and of course there are traditional consecrations and so on in the various sources for consecrating your chalk, and then you get chalk in all the appropriate colors, which is nice. Now I find that this works best for working with vigils, yeah, and it's not that it's impossible using taper candles on this, but you're going to have to use it with candlesticks, and invariably there will be dripping on the surface and that you're going to have to clean off, and it tends to be a bit harder on this blackboard surface to clean that. But I find that when I'm working with vigils, when I'm doing long-term work, for example, like in this case I might be manipulating a doll baby over a period of weeks, where I'm sustaining the work with these vigils. Here I have the spirit and the intelligence of Venus, along with the pentacle and the holy name, ruling the planet on these vigils. And I find that for long-term works, and particularly when I'm using vigils, that this is perfect. Now, there is another benefit to this, is that this room is rather lovely for inscribing holy names and characters and so on, with paint and so on permanently, right? And upstairs I have a consecrated version where I have the 10 general holy names inscribed in gold on it and so on. I'm not going to show that in the video, simply because I will never film or photograph any of my consecrated ritual paraphernalia and put it on YouTube. I think it's a bad practice. But you can get the idea by just looking at this, that this is a really excellent area to inscribe holy names and characters. And of course you can do that there are many options for what could go around the perimeter here that will help empower this and sanctify this further, right? And of course it's much larger than a ceramic plate, and it therefore offers you more space to work. There's more room for creativity available with the pentacles, and you'll find it a bit easier to adapt the stuff from the grimoires onto the surface, simply because you'll have more room to maneuver, more space to draw, and so on. So that's it. That's my thinking behind the Tablet of Lights. I hope you found this useful. Remember to like or subscribe, and thank you for watching.